There has been nothing cooler to my kids than the fact that I have been on the news. Nothing. I have a silver play button. I have like 200,000 YouTube subscribers, and that's pretty cool to children. But the fact that I was on the news just blows their freaking minds. They're like, oh my gosh, my mom was on the news. She's so famous. Not only have I been on like the news, but I've also been featured in Business Insider and a ton of other publications that have drastically skyrocketed my business because press is freaking amazing. And so many of us are focused on like marketing, which, marketing is awesome. I love marketing. But getting yourself featured in major media like Forbes or the news or Business Insider or Yahoo or like whatever can get you so far. And in today's video, I am bringing on another special guest. Her name is Beth. I met Beth several months ago now on like a fun little networking chat that we were both on, and I instantly messaged her and was like, do you know that you look like Rachel Hollis? Because I swear they're twins. Except Beth doesn't really act like Rachel Hollis. She's cooler. So there's that. But Beth has been on the news and helps other people get on the news and be featured in other major media. And today she's going to teach you how to get your business featured in major media. This is like a masterclass in a YouTube video. You're gonna wanna take notes and everything. So without further ado, here's Beth.
Wow, Jessica, thank you so much for having me. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. Today, I'm going to spill the beans, the ones only a former TV producer can know, on how to get your business featured on major media outlets and get your business the attention it deserves. As business owners, we're all looking to ways to get our message out to a wider audience. And the most powerful ways to do that, my friends, through the media, whether it's getting featured on magazines, podcasts, your favorite morning show, it's a game changer for business growth in your business. But hold on, because before you can even reach out to all those media outlets and pitch yourself, you need to have a compelling media message. Your message is what sets you apart from your competitors and allows them to know that you are the one to tell that story. You are the one to go to when they need a comment or for information. So the first step in crafting this media message, which I call your media message mantra, because you're going to be saying this over and over and over again when you're in the media. So I want you to think of these three things. What makes you different from your competitors? What unique perspective or framework do you use within your industry? And what problems do you solve for your clients in a way that nobody else can? Big questions, but I know you have the answers. And this is the way we put it together. You take your media message mantra with your expertise, your story, and your call to action, and you put that in one sentence. And that one sentence gives you the jumping off part for everything else you want to do in the media. I'll give you mine. I got 20 plus years in the media industry, 15 in the digital entrepreneurship space. I've been on Dr. Oz to Oprah, and I have a lead magnet that connects all of it. So as a former TV producer with 20 plus years in the business and 15 years in digital entrepreneurship, Beth Nydick took her disastrous story of appearing on Dr. Oz to the pages of Oprah magazine. If you want to know how you too can grow your business and be on major media, then download her Leverage the Logos lead magnet, downloadable. Do you see what I mean? It's what you stand for and what's going to be intriguing and interesting about your story, because the media is not a commercial for your business. I'm going to let that sink in. It's not a commercial for your business. It's a way for you to generate ideas around your passion that it can help other people solve their problems. So let's generate an idea. Let's think about it this way. How unique is it? Is everyone else saying the same thing? Or are you saying something different? Can it connect emotionally to an audience? Because my friends, that's what media and success in media is actually all about. And will the storyline also work on your social media, your email marketing, and any other platform like your website? So here are 3 of my tips for figuring out what your special sauce is. The number 1, get introspective. Think about what got you interested in doing this in the first place. How you got your business started? What's your personal experience? Did you just see a gap in the marketplace? Whatever that is, that's your hook. That's the way to bring people into what you have to say. Number 2 is do your research. Look at other businesses. I know, no copying, but see what they've already done and see what they're talking about. Where can your special sauce be fit in to fill the gaps with your unique perspective? Because you do not want to be saying the same thing that everyone else is saying. Number 3, I want you to think outside the box, think big, because maybe it's not about the topic. Maybe it's about the people in the topic. Maybe it's about the journey that you take people on, the things that happen. Get creative and have some fun with it. Because if your business was just a bunch of ideas thrown together, then it's not going to go anywhere. But if your business could be crafted into a compelling narrative, that's where you could take your unique angle, what sets you apart. And that's what you can take those two things into the angles that you're going to use to be in the media. Because I discussed the challenges that entrepreneurs have with making money from media and how to grow your business and the common obstacles about not knowing how to craft a compelling media message and how to reach out to the right audiences so that you can make money and grow with your business. It's a little bit different than other people in my industry, so that I'm a little bit unique and that you'll be hearing a different story from me. Because you can't just tell the media about your story. Like I said, it's not a commercial. So I want you to tell them a story. Every good story, beginning, middle, and end. And yours should be no different, but I want you to weave in the different elements of how your system or how your framework or that compelling tale really helped you get to where you are today. Does anybody want to know what the disastrous Dr. Oz story is or how I got into the pages of Oprah? Right, you probably do. And if I told you the whole story, you'd feel it in your gut. And that's what I want to understand. And what you're going to bring across to your media opportunities is making them feel something. I want you to inspire, I want you to educate, and I want you to empower people to take action. Because it's great to see you on Good Morning America and all those other major platforms. But if they're not going to pick up their phone or go to their computer and type you in and really see what you're about, you're not going to be able to leverage it. Or you're not going to be using it for growth. So you might have the great idea and the great angle. Now we need who to talk to about it. What's your target audience? I'm sure you have your IDC for your business, but now let's think about on platforms, who do you want to speak to? Is it moms? Is it small business owners? Is it recruiting companies that want to use AI to help them with recruiting? Ask your audience. That's number one. Ask them. Be like, hey, I'm working on visibility for my next quarter of my business, or take them along with the journey. Like, I got an opportunity to be on my first podcast or my 50th podcast. What podcast do you listen to? What do you read? What do you watch so that you can get this information? Because if you're asking them where they already see those things, and since they're your ideal client, they'll go find other ideal clients. Where's everyone showing up in your industry to gather that information? And what platforms align with your values? When I was in the food business, I was asked to be on a show that was very heavily let's say they made a lot of recipes with butter and cream. That wasn't my vibe. And so I had to decline those. And I remember my friends saying to me, are you crazy? Why wouldn't you just go on and do something healthy? Guess what? They didn't want me to go on and do something healthy. They just wanted me to go on. And so it did not align with what I had to say. If I showed up on there, my audience would be really confused because why is Beth cooking with butter? That's what I want you to think about in your business. Should you show up in certain platforms that maybe don't align with what you have to say? And just because you're friends with them or you like that podcast, what is your audience going to do? Because I want you to take the onus off of you and put it on the audience. I'll give you a quick insider tip on how the industry works. If you want to be on a TV show and the producer at the TV show likes your pitch, they need to now gather all the information, right? Ask you more questions about the pitch, and then go take it and pitch it to their boss, who has the final say if you're going to get on air. And the boss is thinking about how their audience is going to receive your information, and can they tease it so the audience will watch it through a commercial into your segment, or watch your segment into a commercial and continue watching the show. Because if a show does not make money from the ads on their program, there's no show. So you're helping them do that. And I hope that also gives you this, like, wait a minute, I'm the content and these guys can't do their job if they don't have the content, which is me. So yeah, I really want you to think about it that way too, because a lot of times people get intimidated about pitching, but they can't do their job without you, and you can't get anywhere without them. So it's really, it's a symbiotic relationship. And that's what I talk about. You need to make relationships. You need to make friends. This is not like here I give you $1 and you give me a lotto ticket. This is an actual ongoing relationship, because what I want for you is that I want that journalist to continually call you for your subject matter, because he or she sees you as the expert. So let's talk a little bit more about choosing the right channels. I want you to choose the channels that you can connect with, but I don't want you to then go blindly email everybody that works there. It's not going to get you very far. Think about it. If I'm in the food space, I'm not emailing somebody in the tech department. Make sure the whole thing is aligned across the board. And that takes research and personalizing your outreach to each one on your media list. So let's not make the list 50. Let's make the list 10. 10 platforms you want to be on, 10 journalists you want to interact with, and let's start from there. Because you really need to take the time to consider what they write about or what they talk about on their platforms, and how your storyline, your unique angle, and your media message mantra all fits into that. So tailoring them specifically and showing them that you've done the homework, that you're not just somebody who is randomly sending spam to their inbox because you want to get picked up by something. It's not about something, it's the right thing. So once you pick those platforms that are great for your audience, great for your IDC, and great for the storyline, then you got to start writing the pitch. And that's all about the hook, my friends. And not only the hook in the body of the pitch, but also the hook in the subject line. Think about how many emails you get a day. How many emails do you think this media person gets a day? 1,000. Let's just say it's 1,000. 1,000 emails a day. So if your email is like expert in food, they're not going to open your email, right? So what is that one sentence that you can pull from your pitch that's connected to your hook to get them to open the email? It depends on what they're doing. Like if you're doing something for the holidays, make sure it says holiday cooking, holiday cocktails, holiday gifts. Make sure that the keywords that you would use for your SEO are also in your subject, because a lot of journalists will just keyword their emails so they can pick out the right emails. Because if you get 1,000 emails, it's a lot. Okay, so you're gonna start with your hook. I like adding research or statistics to the hook, highlighting your unique story. You can go back and use your MMM and identifying the unique piece of it and the advantage it is for having you on air to talk about it. Make sure the journalist understands how you stand apart from everybody else and how you're different and why you're worth the person to cover. Make sure you finish the email with a link to your media page, a link to your media bio, like your media kit, a link to your biggest social, so the social that has the biggest interaction, not necessarily the biggest numbers, but the interaction, and then what you want them to do. Don't just write thanks. Say, hey, you can contact me here, call me here for more information. When can we set up a time to talk? There's a million ways to end it, but make sure you end it with a call to action, with actually telling them something to do. And the biggest advice I could give you here is make sure it's not a whole page. They don't have time and they're not going to run through it. Journalists are very busy people, podcast hosts, anybody, we're all busy. So make sure you're clear, concise to the most important parts, and avoid the fluff. No one needs the fluff. No one needs the backstory. They just need enough information so that they can be interested enough to call you back and get the information from you and then sell it to their boss. So once you've done all that and you get the yes, right, then I want to make sure that you know you need to practice, right? You need to have interviews and ask your friends to help you so that you can then go on and be your best self. The biggest mistake I think I see people make after they've had media is they do nothing with it. They post it in their story once, or maybe they put it into their feed, but they're not actually using it so they can leverage for business growth. And that to me is the ultimate sin. So I want you to shout it from the rooftops. Share it on all your media platforms. And I don't just mean put it in your story. I want you to put it in the post. And then I want you to do a post. You can either write it, or if I would love you to do is do a video and really talk about what it was like to pitch. And maybe I was on Jessica's YouTube page and I saw Beth Nydick and she said this and it made me think. So I started doing this and then I got here. Like give them the beginning, the middle, of the end of this whole story. The end is that you got to be on media and what that meant for you and what it felt like, what the behind the scenes were. If you go to my social, you'll see, if you scroll down, you'll see all the behind the scenes from when I was on the Drew Barrymore show. Scroll more for the Dr. Oz show. But the Drew Barrymore show, I did all the behind the scenes and how I felt about it. And the next day, how I felt about it and how I was conversing. I was telling my audience about it. Because if you can do all that and get people excited about an opportunity that happened for you, they're more in on you. And then, of course, everything you're putting out there also has a call to action so that they can go see more of your stuff. If it's on a smaller podcast or you're on somebody's blog or you're on somebody's website, why are you not doing something together outside of that? So I want to see IG Lives or Facebook or LinkedIn. I want to see an article from the both of you. I want to see something that says, hey, we did this together and we want to share it with everybody. Because just putting it up once and forgetting about it, I'm going to come after you. Like it makes me crazy when that happens. Because so often I hear from people, well, I was on this huge show, but nothing ever happened. You know whose fault that was? Your fault. You're the reason that it didn't go anywhere. You're the reason that nothing happened. Because that set it and forget it mentality is a waste. One of the best things you could do for your business is to share it all, put it out there, and continually share it. I mean, 3 times a year, you'll see the big media that I've been on, and I'm resharing it and resharing and resharing it. It helps sustain my level of credibility, and not everyone sees it the first, second, or third time. So I want you to continue doing that. But having it on your website, I think, is the biggest action you can take. Doing that whole page that Just About Press shows your audience, your clients, your prospective clients, and the journalists that you are somebody who is serious about their business. You are somebody who's serious about leveraging media and using it for business growth. So don't let your media go to waste. Promote it like a boss. And then I know that your brand your brand is just going to soar. I promise all these tips work if you integrate them into your business. And I can't wait to hear how it works for you. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll answer those in future videos. Thanks for being with me today. Thanks, Jessica.